What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, in an epic moment, undefeated unified WBC IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer, who is widely considered by many to be top 3 best pound for pound fighters in the world, in ERROL "The Truth" Spence Jr., 27 wins, no loss, no draw, 21 wins by way of knockout. He is 32 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. He held his media workout for his upcoming Unification Mega Showdown with WBA welterweight world champion Cuban star boxer UGAS, who is 27 wins, 4 losses, no draws, 12 wins by way of knockout. UGAS is 35 years of age, 5'9" with a 69-inch arm reach. With that said, ERROL Spence held his media workout, and obviously there was tons of questions being answered. But there was one reporter that continued to poke at ERROL Spence and trying to get bulletin board material out of ERROL Spence. And he got to former Olympic bronze medalist, former WBC American heavyweight world champion, superstar boxer DEONTAY "The Bronze Bomber" Wilder. And he was trying to poke at Deontay Wilder. And he asked ERROL Spence some questions, and ERROL Spence, he completely shut him down in defense of Deontay Wilder. And he said, man, you gotta relax, right? He said, you looking for something, you poking for something, you need to relax. You've been poking for something all day, right? The reporter was asking ERROL Spence what ERROL Spence thought about Deontay Wilder losing to Tyson Fury, everything the reporter kept continuing to ask ERROL Spence was something ERROL Spence deemed to be negative, okay? And so ERROL Spence, he shut it down, right? It's ironic because Deontay Wilder, is somebody that, people claim that they didn't like, right? Deontay Wilder is somebody that can't box. He wasn't appreciated as he was very active and seeking out all the biggest and best fights. Everything about Deontay Wilder was that he couldn't box, okay? From mainstream media, he was a one-trick pony. All he had was knockout power. That's the only thing he could do, okay? He has an epic trilogy with Tyson Fury, and now he's appreciated because he went out on the shield as he stated that he would, okay? Deontay Wilder is somebody that stands on his square. He says what he means and he means what he says. He's seeking out to be the best heavyweight he could possibly be, accomplished. He's successfully defended his titles 10 times. He's an Olympic bronze medalist, started boxing at the age of 21. Only 6 fighters in the history of sport of boxing successfully defended their titles 10 times, and he's one of the 6. And actually, it's only 5 because Muhammad Ali did it twice. Okay, so with that said, Deontay Wilder was somebody that, received a lot of criticism, okay, for his style of boxing, his approach to the sport, and he just simply wanted to fight the best. Okay, so ERROL Spence was having none of it. ERROL Spence, he addressed, the possible showdown coming up next with his biggest rival, undefeated 3-division world champion, who is the WBO welterweight reigning world champion, superstar boxer Terence "Bud" Crawford. Okay, Terence Crawford, 38 wins, no loss, no draw, 29 wins by way of knockout, 34 years of age, 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. Everybody wants to see Terence Crawford and ERROL Spence fight. The reporter also was poking at that fight. It was getting frustrating to the point on ERROL Spence where he stated that, that's the plan, right? You can see he was visibly getting frustrated with the constant, poking, so ERROL Spence, he was taking it as he was looking for a bulletin board material, right? He was trying to poke at ERROL Spence, trying to get him to say something, right? So he kept asking him about the fight with Terence Crawford. And, he responded and he said, I'm looking to make that fight happen next, okay? I'm looking to, negotiate that fight. I'm looking to make it happen. I want to fulfill, you know, what I stated, that I wanted to become undisputed. So I'm looking to become undisputed. And the fight with Terence Crawford, I got to negotiate that fight. But first things first, you know, I got to fight. I'm focusing on Yordenis Ugas, right? And then the reporter, again, you can hear him again, ask him about Terence Crawford again. And Errol Spence responds and he says, if I don't get past Yordenis Ugas, right, and I'm not successful April 16th in this unification with Yordenis Ugas, then it ain't going to be no need to negotiate with Terence Crawford to make that fight happen. So first things first, right? So obviously Errol Spence was visibly getting frustrated with this particular reporter. And, you know, Errol Spence, he responded to this reporter and he told him, listen, man, you need to chill. You've been poking all day. Errol Spence is somebody that clearly is a person of loyalty. Okay, he's somebody that, you know, supports his, you know, his fellow boxers, you know, and you know, he was having none of it. Okay, he wasn't gonna allow this reporter to talk down on Deontay Wilder because that's what he was trying to get with. You know, do you think he could bounce back after being knocked out twice by Tyson Fury? You know, and then, you know, the reporter again, like he stated, are you, you know, should you get past Yordenis Ugas? What about Terence Crawford? You know, he could continue to go that route until the point where Errol Spence was like, listen, if I don't get past Yordenis Ugas and focus on the task at hand, there ain't gonna be no reason to negotiate a fight with Terence Crawford. So obviously, you know, that's the fight everybody wants to see. But Errol Spence, you know, people were saying that Errol Spence wasn't saying Terence Crawford's name. Errol Spence is avoiding Terence Crawford. Errol Spence is never going to fight Terence Crawford. Well, he made it abundantly clear once more. He said that the fight he wants is Terence Crawford next, after Yordenis Ugas, after he collects his third belt. He wants to begin to negotiate. He believes that it's going to be easier to negotiate and make the fight happen with Terence Crawford. And he stated that, you know, but he has to focus on Yordenis Ugas first. There's a lot of people that are overlooking, that want Errol Spence to overlook, should I say, Yordenis Ugas. Yordenis Ugas is a big, strong, skilled, technically sound boxer, okay? He's not the biggest puncher, right? In 31 fights, he has 12 knockouts, so he's not the biggest puncher in the division, but he's a big guy at 5'9.5" with a 69-inch arm reach, always in shape, comes from arguably the greatest school of boxing, in that Cuban school of boxing, who is technically gifted, who is a technician in the ring, who has a great jab, who has good timing, put combinations together well, has good hand speed, you know, has a high ring IQ. He comes from that Cuban school of boxing. Many people have taken notice of Yordenis Ugas now because of how Yordenis Ugas easily beat legendary 8th division world champion, iconic Filipino superstar boxer Manny "Pac-Man" Pacquiao, when he was a late replacement, because that was supposed to be Errol Spence versus Manny Pacquiao, August 21st of 2021. But Errol Spence, he suffered a broken detached retina. Yordenis Ugas in a late replacement. A lot of people was overlooking Yordenis Ugas because of the fact that people thought that Yordenis Ugas, people view Yordenis Ugas as second tier because the WBA had elevated Yordenis Ugas into, you know, the WBA super champion, and they had placed Manny Pacquiao as champion in recess. And when they placed Manny Pacquiao as champion in recess, when Manny Pacquiao came back after a 2-year layoff, Manny Pacquiao, he defeated former unified welterweight world champion superstar boxer Keith one-time Thurman. And when he defeated Keith Thurman, you know, he was the WBA champion. Now, he was out the ring for 2 years, okay? That was July of 2019. So he was out the ring for 2 years, and when he made his ring return was supposed to be the fight with Errol Spence. And you know, he you know, petitioned the WBA to be reinstated as the the champion, the super champion, and their WBA denied him. Okay, and so when he was denied to be the reinstated, you know, many people questioned YORDENIS UGAS. You know, YORDENIS UGAS, you know, the critique fell on YORDENIS UGAS, right? The pressure fell on YORDENIS UGAS as people were saying, you know, you're not a real champion. So then ERROL SPENCE suffered the broken detached retina, and YORDENIS UGAS replaces him. You know, YORDENIS UGAS was being overlooked as not being the champion, and so when he easily dispatched the Manny Pacquiao, people took notice of him. Okay, but there's even people that feel like YORDENIS UGAS is there's people that feel like YORDENIS UGAS is a somebody who was got lucky because Manny Pacquiao was out the ring for 2 years and was on the wrong side of 40. So ERROL SPENCE is focused on YORDENIS UGAS. As he stated, there's no reason to focus on Terence Crawford if I don't get past YORDENIS UGAS. And he shuts down a reporter talking about Deontay Wilder not being able to bounce back. So let's see how everything unfolds April 16th, Arlington, Texas, AT&T, Dallas Cowboys Stadium. That's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.